few minutes late, a little technical difficulty, but here we are. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yesterday was the birthday of the lead singer of Journey, Steve Perry, the original lead singer of Journey. He had a song that came out in the mid-'80s called Oh Sherry, and the beginning lines of that were "You should have been gone." I'm sure we all remember that. How about you, Bobby?
Should have been gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and I applied that to Joel Embiid and Daryl Moron for what is going on with the 76ers. The Wings improved to 5-2. Anything else going on in Philly sports?
We're one win away from the Super Bowl. Can you believe it?
We'll break it down. We'll be back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Bobby mentioned, the NFC Championship game will be this Sunday in Philadelphia. Bobby, is this a game the Eagles win easily, or is it a setup for disappointment?
I keep going back and forth. I can't find an argument for Washington to win the game. I can't. They just don't have enough edges. They don't have enough. I don't mean edge rushers. I mean edges as far as where they rank better than the Eagles. There's only one position where they even contend, and that's the quarterback. I know it's the most important position in sports. I understand that. But the rest of the team is not. The Eagles' offensive line's better, defensive line's better, wide receivers are better, running backs better. They're just an overall better team. How can I make an argument they lose this game? Everything's set up for us. We have a home game to go to the Super Bowl. How could you ask for anything more?
No, you're exactly right. And we were making the same arguments about the game that they just won over the Rams. And for the most part, they dominated that game. And then they almost fell asleep and choked it away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, essentially, when Barkley scores that touchdown in the fourth quarter, I mean, there's absolutely no excuse that anybody can come up with why the Rams are at the 30-yard line.
With a chance to win the game.
Yeah, with a chance to win the game.
Basically, one play away from winning the game. And Merle Reese's radio call when he ran in for that touchdown, he said, "That'll do it." The Eagles. Well,
that's what I said too.
Yeah, I mean, it was over. But then they let them go down the field. I don't understand that one bit. In the snow, why would you let a team go down the field like that? I mean, it made no sense to me how they played back. I mean,
the only thing I can think of was that they had the idea it was over, and given the fact that it was snow and the situations or whatever, they were very hesitant because they didn't want to see another injury come to somebody that could possibly cost them going forward.
Yeah, but a 13-point game is not over.
No, and it should have been a 15-point game, and we can get into the kicker later.
Yeah. Good evening, Ralph. Yeah, Turnpike Boy. You guys are the Pennsylvania State champs. We want to be more than the Pennsylvania State champs. Terrence says, I thought the Rams were down after that second Saquon touchdown. Rams needed more of that hurry-up offense. I mean, yeah, like we just said, the Eagles kind of made the hurry-up offense work by playing prevent defense.
The tight end on the final drive for the Rams, I believe it may have been either second or third down, was wide open coming across the middle. But the problem for the Rams was Jalen Carter was on top of Matthew Stafford at that point and putting him on the ground.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the only real concern you would have with Washington is the quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't see anyone stopping Carter again.
That was going to be one of my points. My keys to the game is going to be Carter versus the backup lineman. Tim Cosme's out. That's their all-pro lineman. That's a huge injury for Washington. So,
well, apparently the Eagles center is going to be out too. So Landon Dickerson's going to be in there.
Jurgens is out?
Apparently he hasn't practiced.
I've heard nothing of that.
Yeah, that was some. Apparently he hasn't practiced, and Dickerson has been in there at practice. Now, hopefully, it's something that in the next few days we find out different.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
Eagles,
good. I'm looking up now. See what happened.
Yeah, the Eagles had remained healthy most of the season, and now with the playoffs, I mean, especially with Nakobe Dean going out, that's had that. Hopefully, that doesn't have an impact that costs them.
I mean, I think that what's his name? Burks played a little better this week. Yeah, now I'm seeing that Goddard didn't practice either. What's going on here?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so far this week, I mean, given that it's Thursday, yeah, I mean, those things are concerning.
They finished the game against the Rams. Why could I don't know. It says a back injury for Jurgens and ankle for Goddard. Goddard's always hurt. He's like the Embiid of the Eagles. I think every team in Philadelphia has an Embiid.
Yeah, true. Well, and here's the thing. You don't know. Well, what we do know is there's an injury to Hurts. How it's going to affect his play, I don't know.
He won't say. We won't know until the game starts. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like the Chicago game last year where he couldn't move and he had to stay in the pocket. And if he stays in the pocket too long, you see what happens. He misses reads, he misses receivers. He takes a lot of sacks. I think that's his natural instinct is to not turn the ball over and only throw to wide open receivers. And it's been a problem.
Well, one thing, and I don't think this is way too much hyperbole here. Mir, you could stand back there and hand off to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The play of the game. That's his play of the game, the handoff. Yep.
Yeah. That's
and then he raises his arms. Jalen Hurts.
That's essentially the offense right there. I don't know if Dickerson being the center. I mean, that it's not what they're used to, but that shouldn't have that much of an impact.
Yeah, I don't know how much experience he has at center, but I mean, thankfully, if that is the case and he has to play center, at least it's a home game where the noise isn't going to make a difference.
The Eagles' offensive line will be the key to winning. Yeah, that Terrence says. It always is going to be. I mean, that's just a given. It's always going to be. The offensive line, even on pass protection, look. I mean, let's just get into it. If the Eagles had a true NFL quarterback, they win the Super Bowl easy, but they don't. Obviously, they got the best run game.
Yep.
Okay, hopefully that's going to carry them through. If they had an NFL quarterback, this isn't even a discussion. I mean, the issue of them being plus 180 right now to win the Super Bowl, I think would be plus maybe 380 at this point. But Hurts, look, everything that we've seen Hurts go through that we've found problematic, it's still there.
And that's how good that shows how good the team is. Despite those shortcomings, they're still there, and they've been here the last 3 years. I mean, they went to a Super Bowl. They're in the playoffs every year. They win a lot of games, but they do that despite his weaknesses throwing the ball.
This past weekend, the worst play on offense, the worst play call on offense was what led to him taking a safety. But if you go back, Goddard's wide open over the middle.
Yeah, I know. And that's been the case of a lot of they always have open receivers.
All that play took was for him to understand someone was coming to get him, take 1 to 2 steps to his right and hit Goddard. It's a first down. They're not backed up, and you're not looking at a situation where it's like, oh, are they choking this away?
Yeah, I mean, but why not just run the ball? That's your strength. Run the damn ball, get you 5 yards, get yourself out of that, being backed up, and that's it. But I mean, you can't take a safety at any time in any game, really. You can't even put yourself at that risk.
Saquon Barkley was absolutely unbelievable and carried them on Sunday. But even in that situation, I don't have a problem with them going to Gainwell, because Gainwell is going to take that ball and he is going to hit the line as fast as he can. And I think the last thing that you're going to see is a safety. I don't know if they were worried about a fumble, but in that weather, anybody could fumble.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what the Rams did. The Rams turned the ball over, and the Eagles have gotten a lot of turnovers. They've forced a lot of turnovers. They got 5 from Washington last time they played them. They got 4 on Sunday, and it's going to be nicer weather this week. You're going to have 40 degrees, 44 degrees, something like that. It's going to be a fast track, and I think it favors the Eagles. I mean, they're the better team. They're the better team. They need to go out there and assert their dominance early and jump all over these guys. And I think it's Washington. To get here was a feat, but the Detroit game's going to end up being their Super Bowl. That's going to be their win. There's going to be a letdown, I think, this week. And the Eagles.
Yeah,
take care of it.
it's the proverbial cliche for them. They're playing with house money at this point.
Yeah.
But we've seen teams playing with house money come into Philadelphia and win NFC Championship games in the past. Now, obviously, that's been the long past.
Right.
Yeah, the crowd. I mean, there can't be a more energetic, pumped up Philadelphia crowd than what's going to be there on Sunday. There can't be. I mean, you can say whatever you want about what went on at Citizens Bank Park. Sorry, the NFL is head and shoulders above baseball, and Philly is crazy when it comes to baseball playoffs, especially with a chance to go to the World Series. A chance to go back to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And I sure hope it's the Chiefs they play, because I'm going to say it now, they will not beat Buffalo. If Buffalo beats Kansas City, they will not beat Buffalo.
I don't know.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a long ride to work every day. I was actually playing that scenario in my head, and I just think that Josh Allen run to the right, it's not going to work against us. That he likes to just get the ball and run. I mean, that's their offense. Josh Allen running the ball. I mean, they don't have great receivers. They don't have great running backs. They have Josh Allen. And
you know what? When you say that, it hits my mind thinking, you could be exactly right. I'm just thinking if Buffalo gets over that hurdle, I think then that carries them forward. But it could be another.
I don't know.
It could be the reverse situation.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Washington. That's their Super Bowl. Yeah. That happens a lot in sports. How many times you see in the NCAA, you'll see a team, like a team out of nowhere. What was the team out? Loyola. They'll upset the number 1 seed, like in North Carolina. Then they'll just lose to like the 9 seed in the next round.
Well, the classic example, that's University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They knocked off. Yeah. you only 16-1 victory ever, and
right.
That was it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the old, they're going to give it all they got, and it's going to take a lot out of them.
Well, I think everything that you've mentioned, and I'm in the role here, kind of a playing devil's advocate, but everything that you've mentioned, I think when you look at it from the standpoint of Vegas, that's why they have the Eagles the favorite.
Yeah, they're 6.5-point favorite. They're minus 290 money line. I mean, it's
Eagles favorite to win the Super Bowl right now, the Final Four.
Yeah. And rightfully so. Like I said, I think they're the better team. They're the best team. They're the best team standing roster-wise out of the 4. I mean, of course, these injuries are going to be a big key, though. I mean, if you go into this game without Jurgens, say you go in without Quinyon Mitchell, I don't know his status. Dallas Goedert, that's a different team.
Yeah, not having Nakobe Dean is an issue. Now, it wasn't the biggest issue on defense this past weekend, but he certainly would have helped.
The Rams didn't pose a big running threat. Kyron Williams is not the kind of running back that's gonna light you up. I mean, he's a 4 or 5 yard a carry guy, not at tops. He's not like a 25-yard threat like Jahmyr Gibbs is and Saquon is.
Yeah, I just am hesitant from the standpoint of, and this is probably a horrible comparison, and feel free to tell me if it is, but I'm looking at the Eagles playing Washington, and Washington being the hot team, like the Phillies fell into Arizona 2 seasons ago when the Phillies were clearly a better team. Mm-hmm. They just fell into a team that was playing hot at the time. Even like last year, they hit the Mets when the Mets were a hot team. And
yeah,
granted, baseball, football, everything's completely different. I
don't think you can compare it that way. The Phillies had weaknesses. The Phillies, we had a feeling the Phillies were going to lose. I don't think we have a feeling the Eagles are going to lose.
No. And my thing being is Washington just that team? They got by Tampa. They were expected to get beaten handily by Detroit. That didn't happen. Are they the team with the momentum?
I don't think so. I think it's a big. I think it's a big win. I think you're going to be in the 4th quarter. They're going to be recapping Jaden Daniels' season and saying what a great rookie season it was and how they look forward to the future with him. I agree with that statement. It's just I don't think they're ready to go to a Super Bowl.
No, and I sure hope you're right. And just like the old saying was, everybody has a good plan until Jalen Carter hits you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And
Right.
how did they get him? How did they ever get him at that pick? I mean, I know it was a high pick for the Eagles. What was it, 7th?
Yeah, it was because of the car race in Georgia.
Exactly. It was because of some off field stuff. He should have been a top 3 pick.
Yeah, maybe number 1. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's been a good guy too.
You have to give credit, and even though in Philadelphia, especially, and me trying over the years of trying to play the character of the negative fan, you look at the fact they've won 1 Super Bowl, and you say, well, okay, Howie Roseman, but I mean, no one's done better than him in the last 2 decades in putting a team together.
No, not at all. Maybe Ed Wade.
Yeah.
Before he left.
Yeah. And, you know, like you said, in Philadelphia, there's not really that much of a comparison. I mean,
no. And just think they put this guy in a closet because of Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Chip Kelly got a championship Monday night. He did win the title.
Well, he did.
Offensive coordinator, but that'll probably get him another head coaching job.
Oh, somebody will yeah. They'll
probably at a big school.
Yeah. Well, I don't know which one will be available, but
yeah. Hey, Bill Belichick took North Carolina, so
I know. I can't remember the last time you would think back that North Carolina football was relevant. No, when you mentioned that national championship game, I mean, there was no chance Ohio State was going to lose that. I mean, once halftime came, I mean, yeah, Notre Dame made a decent run, to make it respectable, but
I'm surprised it was that close.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
So going forward, I mean, like I said, there's no matchup on the field where I'm afraid. Maybe McLaurin, but if we got Mitchell shadows him, shuts him down. I mean that's your only real threat. Brian Robinson Jr. He's a big guy. He might get a couple big carries, but on the defensive side, Washington has nothing. They gave up 35 points to the Bears. They got run all over by the Lions. The Lions put up 500 yards against them.
True.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was getting whatever he wanted. So Eagles are going to win big. I'm thinking, 38-14.
You had mentioned turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think back of these last 2 playoff games, there was so many chances they had for turnovers where the ball just slipped out of their hands.
Yeah.
Or it was just, they were so close to, and even fumbles that were recovered by the other team. It's just, and I hope that all comes together. And
they haven't played a good game yet, and they're here.
I'm going to say the Eagles win, but I'm going to say they win at 27-19. I'm going to say it's closer. I mean, and I only say 27 because we all know Elliott's going to miss an extra point.
Yeah.
But at this point, why isn't you have the best running back the team's ever had? Just go for 2. Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, why not? You have a better chance of getting 2 yards than you do a 30-yard field goal with this guy. I mean, I think they're going to have to get a kicker in the offseason. There's no way you can go into next year with him as your kicker.
No, you really can't. Because that's what I was thinking when, of course, being the negative Philadelphia sports fan, I was thinking about this monumental collapse if the Rams happened to go down the field. And once they got down to the 30-yard line, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, this should be an 8-point game. If the 2 extra points were made, or if at some point they had just gone for 2 and made it. But hey, look, put everything else aside. The Eagles were in the NFC Championship game at home. Well,
all right. That's what I said. What else could you ask for? There's nothing else you could ask.
Bottom line.
I mean, I don't care what path they take. They're here. There really was no hard path. I mean, the Packers were probably a better team than the Rams, but there's not the NFC is not loaded. Look at Detroit. Look at Minnesota. These teams were frauds in the end. I mean, they had a lot of wins, but they're regular season teams.
Well, the reason that they were regular season teams is because of what you just said. There's nobody there. Who
Right.
was? I mean, really, the Bears that the Vikings, and look at the division with the Vikings and the Packers and the Lions. I mean, okay, and look at their schedules, who they played. I mean, there's not that many dominant teams. But we said that all along. There's not that many dominant teams in football.
Right. There's not.
Mm-mm. And here's the thing. You saw Detroit go out. Yeah. Baltimore went out losing to Buffalo. Okay. You throw them two into the mix, take the four who are left. Washington's the surprise. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much of it. You said it. That's it. I mean, even neither of those teams really scares you, the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the two best quarterbacks, yes. Other than that, the teams are not loaded. And if you can't come up with a game plan to stop a 34-year-old Travis Kelce, I mean, really, how is he getting open at this point? He can barely run. I mean, you double team the guy, you make him, make the other guys beat you. Make these Xavier Worthies of the world beat you. You can't lose to Travis Kelce.
Well, here's the thing too: is if it does become Eagles Chiefs, I mean, as soon as you touch Mahomes, you're going to get a flag, though. I mean, it's the way it seems. But hey,
yeah, I saw a funny meme today. It was Trump signing all the new executive orders. Well, they had one of him standing there with the paper with the executive order: no more rigged Chiefs games.
Well, all I want to know is does he realize now that the Kansas City Chiefs are in Missouri and not Kansas? I mean, I know he made that mistake a number of years ago, but no. And here's the thing too, and this is why I started the show the way I did. It is so good right now for the city to have the Eagles doing what they're doing. But the only negative is it's overshadowing the garbage that the Sixers have done. I mean, I understand that the owner, I guess you might as well just have the Sixers sit in the owner's box of the Commanders this week. He doesn't care about the 76ers. The general manager does not belong being the general manager. And look, the city, I don't know. I mean, just the way things are with the city. I mean, the basketball is now just forgotten. I mean, the thing is, people have finally on social media and everything said, look, process teams were better than this.
Well, now when they give you your nightly Embiid out, everybody's saying good now. They want them to lose. They want them to.
Right. Well, I
think the problem is they already won too many games.
You know what? That's a shame because they might have. I keep looking up. The Flyers are losing at Madison Square Garden 3-1, and this was an expected loss after the overtime win against Detroit. I mean, they were definitely going to go up to the Garden and lay an egg. But there's your Flyers minute.
They haven't lost to Detroit at home in about 25 years or something like that.
It seems that way.
No, it's really the case. I think
it seems like the last time they did was the Stanley Cup Finals.
Like 97. I think it's then 97.
Might be.
That's crazy. Well, Detroit hasn't been that good though.
No.
Yeah, that's your Flyers minute. Boo.
Boo. Yeah, because I'll say it again. They're good enough to just be not good enough. Is where they are. No, you look at games. I mean, the next game the Sixers plays against the Cavaliers. I mean, okay, that would be at this point, the way the Cavaliers have played, that would be a great game and a great challenge for the Philadelphia 76ers. But what are they going to run out there? I mean,
yeah, the rookie councils, and it's unwatchable. It's not even watchable at this point.
No, and look, I've said this so many times, and a lot of it is it's just my personality, the way it comes across. I am a stone cold idiot. I should not know more than a guy who's collecting $13 million a year to run a basketball team. And I said, and can show you it and put it on social media, no to Paul George. You said the same thing. You knew what was going to happen.
Yep. Makes zero sense. I mean,
instead of signing him, I'd rather have a second-round draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like a question. I mean, it was. I could see if he was 30, maybe you would have got the first couple of years, go down the contract. He's already spent. He's already cooked. 34 years old. I thought then a 36-year-old Paul George, a 37-year-old Paul George.
God.
No.
No,
He stinks. He's got to be the worst superstar I've ever seen. Quote superstar, not a superstar.
It makes you miss Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same player in my eyes. That they,
Right.
Paul George sucks,
and
it's just he gets volume. He's going to have the ball in his hands. You give those shots to anybody that could score. I mean, look at this Justin Edwards kid. Mm-hmm. He's putting 20 points up. I mean, Paul George is nothing special.
No, and interestingly enough, I was able last season to watch a good number of Clippers games, and I mean, I like I said, how does a general manager do that? He wasn't signing him and bringing him in and turning him back into 2012 Paul George. I mean,
he was never the same player after the injury. He was never as good.
No, he wasn't.
He was great. He was great before when he was on the Pacers.
Yes.
Once he hit that stanchion of the basket, he was never the same.
But isn't that a prerequisite for just coming to Philadelphia, that those things happen in your background?
I mean, that happened years and years ago. Though. That should have been a clear do not sign. I mean, I wasn't even considered signing him. He
was brought in. I can still remember the press conference. He was brought into the Clippers, and it was him and Kawhi, and it was like, these are the pieces that are going to carry the Clippers to a championship.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No.
How'd that work out?
I don't know, but I can tell you what, that's the coolest building I think I haven't been in it, obviously, the Inuit Center out there, but just seeing that on TV and knowing that's where WWE had their first Monday Night Raw on Netflix and all. Well, it's a very cool building, but then if you spend $2 billion on a building, it better be cool.
It'd be cool, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty cool. Yeah, speaking of buildings, the Sixers are going to stay in South Philly.
I guess they're going to build their own building there.
Yeah, they're going to build it. They said east, whatever that means. I think where JFK was, but I don't know if there's room there.
Yeah. All I know is it's going to make access. I mean, I'm not totally 100% familiar with the section, with the Chinatown section where they were going to put the other building. Total traffic jam. That's exactly what everyone said. How bad? You know where City Hall is? I do. Well, it's basically City Hall has a circle. The traffic goes in a circle. It's basically if you go around the first halfway around and make the right down the street. There's Chinatown, right past the old gallery, Market Street. It's just Chinatown's basically a street with Chinese restaurants and Asian culture. And taking SEPTA down there is not the most convenient either, is it? It's not the most convenient and not the most safe either. I mean, that's a given. Yeah, I mean, it's not something a family from Havertown is not taking a man is not taking his 12-year-old son and 10-year-old daughter down there on the train. It's not going to happen. No, it was just inaccessible. Yeah, and that was the main argument, and I get the idea of, okay, whether it's the politics, the financial aspect, or whatever that goes into sharing a building and wanting to have your own. I get that, okay, but look, if I get it from this financial standpoint and everything, and what the 76ers were trying to do to separate themselves and everything. But come on, look, we're just fans. I don't care where you play. I don't care if you play outside in the old Spectrum parking lot. Just win. Yeah, right. I mean, and by the time that stadium's built, I mean, Embiid's going to be a thing of the past, and Maxi's probably going to be in his 10th year. Don't bet on it with Embiid being a thing of the past. I mean, who knows? They'll sign him. Who knows? 8-year extension. I mean, what is the Flyers plan? Are they going to build their own stadium or stay in the Wells Fargo? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the maybe lease. They can move. Maybe they'll move to Jersey. Maybe. I don't know what their lease is or what their contract is with that. Yeah,
Because I would think in order to build the Sixers a new stadium, you have to knock down the Wells Fargo Center to make room.
Maybe, and at this point, I don't care if the Flyers move to Davenport, Iowa.
Me either. Take them.
Go ahead, go out there, whatever. Davenport, Iowa would be a great place. They can become.
And I would actually like to see a new franchise come, and I would support them.
Oh, absolutely.
They probably in 5 years be better than anywhere the Flyers that we'll get in 5 years.
Given what you've seen with some expansion teams in the way hockey does it, especially when you look at the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't welcome that?
Yeah, right. Kraken's a pretty good team up there in the Northwest. And
I don't know. I haven't checked recently to see what the Utah Hockey Club is up to.
No.
They
couldn't come up with a team name, really.
No, I don't know. You can come up with some different things. I don't care what you would call them. You can call them the Unicorns for all I care. It's better than the Hockey Club.
I know, that's ridiculous. All right. Oh, so you want to get them? Yeah.
Yeah, you said right before the show that this week you have a top 10.
Yeah, it came to me on my way to work this morning.
Oh boy, so I'm on the spot here.
It's a pretty easy one.
Okay.
Top 10 Eagles jerseys that you or I would buy. And it's my list. So I got 10 Eagles. If you had to go that every Eagles fan should own, I should say.
Top 10?
All time. Yep.
Saquon Barkley. Or are you just not going with current players?
I am, but I mean, I kind of went with like a little bit of a career, but
Reggie White.
Honorable mention. Yeah, I got Reggie White, number 7.
Reggie White, number 7. Randall Cunningham.
Number 4.
Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb, number 5.
Let's see here. I don't know if you would have. Brian Dawkins.
Number 3.
I'm trying to think who you're going to go with. Lane Johnson.
I almost wrote him, but then I'm thinking like I don't see many Lane Johnson jerseys. I actually had him in at number 10 and crossed them out.
Okay.
So yeah, sure, he can make the list. Barkley's honorable mention.
Fletcher Cox.
No, I don't have Fletcher Cox.
All right.
Not enough excitement.
Not enough excitement.
He wasn't an exciting player.
Okay. No, I got it. I got you. I mean, it just there's. Okay.
I'm not going to a Modell's or a Dick's Sporting Goods and buying a Fletcher Cox jersey.
I know, and I'm okay for all our younger listeners out there. I think there's a reason why his jersey is kind of popular, but we'll just let that pass. You get my point. Wow, I am probably missing some people. How about AJ Brown?
No.
Terrell Owens.
No, I thought of him, but no.
Yeah.
He didn't play long enough.
Michael Vick.
No.
Well, if we go back,
how do I not? I mean, Barkley should be on it, but maybe next year.
he's new. I got it.
Yeah.
No, because we're going to do a thing here with it's kind of a top 10 on the top 10-ish thing. Here, I think that we'll have some fun with where we haven't done like with current players. I mean, do you have Jalen Hurts on there?
Honorable mention. He's 12th. He was 12th. Still missing 10, 9, 8, 6, 2, and 1.
Jaworski.
No. Tight end is number 10.
Well, he's the tight end on the Commanders, right?
Yeah, because he caught the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Zach Ertz.
Well, yeah, and of course, I'm missing the quarterback who won the Super Bowl. How can I do that?
Number 1.
Yes, of course. There should be statues lining the stadium to him.
Yeah. Number 9 is the number 3 receiver in Eagles history.
Number 3 receiver in Eagles history.
Well, number 1's Harold Carmichael. Number 2's Pete Ritzlaff. So I don't think you're buying their jersey.
You know, I think when I was at the Football Hall of Fame, I think I probably have the picture of it. I took a picture of the Harold Carmichael throwback that was on sale with the Kelly Green. Oh,
Yeah.
the number 3 receiver in Eagles history. That would be James Thrash. No,
No.
I'm kidding. I'm blanking on. How am I doing this?
The punt return in the Meadowlands.
Oh yeah, Brian Mitchell.
No.
Not Brian Mitchell.
The second punt return, one where he fumbled it and then he ran it back.
Yes.
The new head coach of the Delaware State football team.
And he also and now how am I not remembering his name? He also left the ball at the 1 yard line against Dallas, running into the end zone. Yeah,
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be number 10. Number 8 is the all-time Eagles leading rusher.
Time.
Number 25. We talked about him last week in the snow game.
Oh, McCoy.
Shady McCoy.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you got number 6.
Number 6.
Number 36 from Villanova.
Did I just mention Westbrook?
You said Brian Mitchell. Yeah.
Westbrook. That's what I meant.
Brian Westbrook could have been higher. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And number 2. Come on, number 2. He just retired.
Oh, you want Kelsey on there?
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He popped in my head when we were going over with the Super Bowl team. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And my other honorable mention was Jerome Brown.
Yeah, true. I'm trying to think if there's probably people are more apt, I think, now to buy jerseys, of course, of current players. But yeah, when you think back over the years and everything, yeah.
Isn't it hard to guess?
It is hard to. It is hard to guess. And we'll put you on the spot here.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, well, I do have a top 10,
Okay.
and I also have. I think this could be fun. This could be to see where Bobby and I are mindset, to see where we fall coming down onto the same page. And what I did was I came up with 10 teams.
Okay.
I'll give you the team name. You tell me the first 3 players or the 3 players that come to mind first for that franchise. No current players.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it may be a little difficult, but we'll see where we come down. The first team is the Orlando Magic.
Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson.
You got 2 of my 3. I have Jameer Nelson just for the Villanova.
Oh, wow.
But the 3 you came up with, no one's going to argue with them.
Shaq and Penny. Yeah.
Indiana Pacers.
Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, and Rick Smith.
Wow, we 2 out of 3 again. We both came up with Rick Smith. I know. He just stands out as that guy.
He does. Who was your other one?
Jermaine O'Neal.
Okay.
The Detroit Red Wings.
I thought you were going to say Pistons.
No.
Red Wings would be Steve Yzerman, Chris Chelios, and Mike Vernon.
Not bad. Of course, Yzerman first. Paul Coffey.
Okay.
Because he also played in Philadelphia. See, a lot of that is if there was a connection to Philadelphia.
Okay.
And, I mean, yeah, Chris Chelios, is absolutely could be there. Heinrich Zetterberg is who I came up with.
Oh wow. He's retired?
I believe that. Yeah,
Like you said, no current player.
Staff, can you see if Heinrich Zetterberg hired? I believe he is. If not, it's Chris Chelios. It could also be Dominic Hasek as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna definitely drop if you say the Sabres, which the Sabres I don't know.
Right.
This one will test you.
Okay.
The LA Kings.
Wayne Gretzky, Luke Robitaille, and Rob Blake.
You got him.
Wow.
That's what came to my mind.
I was thinking of NHL hockey from Sega Genesis.
It's exactly what I did. Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. We'll go Bernie Kosar, Kevin Mack, and the tight end, is it Joyner? Ozzie Newsome.
We both came up with Kosar. I have Joe Thomas.
Okay. Zetterberg retired in 2018. Okay. Wow.
Thank you, staff.
Okay.
Jim Brown, but
yes,
it's almost cheating.
I never saw him play.
Right. Neither did I. This one will be fun because we'll see, because there's a number of them here. The Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Michael Vick, first thing that came to mind. Chris Chandler, for some reason, I don't know, just popped in my mind, and Julio Jones.
I have Julio Jones because I'm old. Steve Bartkowski.
Okay.
But of course, after I put these three down, I'm like, well, wait a minute. How did I miss Michael Vick here? Deion Sanders.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Baseball now. The Montreal Expos.
Larry Walker, Delino DeShields, Tim Raines.
I have Tim Raines, but those are three very good names. Gary Carter, because I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it was so bizarre, Pete Rose. But
to me, Gary Carter's a Met. I know he played for the Expos. I know. And yeah, well, when I think of him, I mean, he could be. He probably played for the Expos longer than the Mets. But
I believe he did, but you could probably put him on both. But he's a Met because of '86.
Right.
I have 1, 2. I have 3. I have 3 more teams.
Okay.
Texas Rangers.
Juan Gonzalez, Nolan Ryan. Should have named Nolan Ryan first. And Adrian Beltre.
It was either him or Ivan Rodriguez.
Pudge, yeah.
Yeah. On the same page there. Okay. The Memphis Grizzlies. Not Vancouver. I think they actually played in Memphis, these 3 guys.
Jeez. Mike Miller.
Good name.
Jesus. I was going to say Abdur Rahim.
Yeah.
He played,
I think he played both.
Okay. There's not many. Bryant Reeves. They play for Vancouver as well.
Vancouver. I don't know if he played in Memphis or not.
Yeah.
Next test for the staff is: did Sharif Abdul Rahim play in Memphis?
Just like, leave me alone.
What's that? Allen Iverson comes to mind.
Oh, wow.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
And you probably think more of him as a Laker, Pau Gasol.
Oh, yeah.
Last team, the Houston Rockets.
Wow. I just named him before the show. We were talking about quadruple doubles, and people had them, and I named him first. And it's Hakeem Olajuwon, Ralph Sampson, and Kenny Smith.
Charles Barkley, but you're right. You got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Those were the 10 teams. I'll come up with 10 teams next week.
Nice. That was cool. How many players in NBA history have had a quadruple double?
Oh boy.
And it hasn't happened since 1994. I knew Olajuwon.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Has there been 4?
Yeah, there's been 4 players that have done it.
Okay.
Did I just say that? Did I just give it away? You said 4. Did I say 4?
No, you said, yeah. Abdur Rahim. Thank you.
I think I said how many, and he said, has there been 4? Yeah, there's been 4.
It's quadruple, so that's why I'm thinking, has there been 4 to get the quadruple double?
Yeah, the guys that did it were Olajuwon, David Robinson, Alvin Robertson, which is a crazy one. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks, and Artis Gilmore.
Wow.
Alvin Robertson was a guard. He's a guy that got a lot of steals, so he got 10 steals.
Okay.
And he had the assists, rebounds, and points.
That's
the reason it came up is because they actually had odds for Wembanyama to do it.
Because it'd be 10 blocks.
Yeah.
10 blocks, I think. Jordan, I mean, you would think Jordan would have just done it just because he would have wanted to.
I know. Or Kobe or somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe was going to be my next thought. I went through that. I went back through maybe LeBron could have done it.
I know. It's true.
Well, yeah, wow. But you're right. It seems like the way. I mean, you'd have to go with a dominant center because you got to get rebounds, assists, points. And
I'm sure Will Chamberlain did it, but they probably didn't keep track.
Yeah, because you think of the guys who would get you 10 steals in a game probably are not getting 10 rebounds.
Right. That's why I was surprised that Robertson did it. Yeah, he's not really a rebounder.
No, it's an interesting stat that like. So you said that the last one was Olajuwon in '94.
Yeah, Olajuwon, David Robinson, Alvin Robertson, and Artis Gilmore.
Wow. You know, it's interesting because I was looking at and I saw a game or two recently, but Houston's a good team again.
Yeah, young.
Good young team. I don't think they're built for the playoffs, but we'll find out. I think once in a 7-game series, I think a more veteran team can figure them out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In the West, I mean,
they're a lot like Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of homegrown players, and the only difference is Oklahoma City has Shai Gilgeous. They have a superstar, and I don't believe that the Rockets have a definite superstar yet.
No, they don't. Green is not. Segun is not. They don't. But they like I said, they have a very good, well balanced team.
Right. Like who's their leader? You know, who's their veteran presence? It's not there.
Van Fleet, maybe, but
maybe. Yeah.
But well, when you mentioned Ralph Sampson, and it's amazing when you think back. I mean, the 2 championships the Rockets won were because Jordan wasn't in the league.
Mm-hmm. And Olajuwon was the best center.
Yeah, definitely. It would have. I mean, that's the argument. Would they have won those 2 or one?
I don't know. It would have been cool, fun to see.
Because if Jordan would have stayed with the Bulls, they'd have been there.
Yeah, they would have been there. Yeah, I mean, Olajuwon, you know, would he have been the dominance that would have kept Jordan out of the lane? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was.
But who was going to stop him on Chicago? Not Luke Longley, not Bill Wennington. He would have went off on those guys.
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, that's a good question. Cartwright. I don't know. I guess he was.
Yeah, well, he was there, but I mean, not a great defensive player.
No, you're right. That wasn't going to happen. The top 10 I came up for this week. Interesting. We haven't done this. I don't think we've ever done this. We've done something very similar, but top 10 all-time athletes whose first name begins with the letter L.
Oh, God.
Now, and this is encompassing all sports.
Okay. Oh, number 1's easy. LeBron James.
He's 4 on my list.
What?
He is. You'll argue with me he should be 3. But you won't argue that he should be 1 or 2.
This is hard. I'm not looking it up. I'm looking at a guy selling cards that just posted some stuff.
Oh, I know. No one's questioning Bobby's integrity.
Yeah, I'm looking at cards. See the cards. So L. Let's see. You can't look that up anyway. Not like I can Google top 10 athletes that start with the letter L. There's not going to be a list online. So all sports, okay. Wow.
You can argue with. I mean, it took it. I don't know why I can't. I don't know why my name it came up with L. I thought about it from the standpoint of seeing something recently on one of these guys, and then I just ran with it.
I can't even think of any names. I mean, I got like Lenny Dykstra. I don't know. Lenny Wilkins.
And here's the thing. This includes, like I said, since LeBron is on the list, it does include current players.
Okay. Wow. This is not easy.
I'll give you a little bit of a hint here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 on here. Larry.
Oh, okay. Larry Bird.
3. You could put LeBron above him. You could.
Larry Brown. We're not doing coaches.
And we're doing all sports.
Wow, this is not easy. I would have rather you said there's more sport rather than the name.
Cardinals wide receiver.
Larry Fitzgerald. Wow.
Heavyweight boxing champion.
Larry Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
So wow. So these aren't like the greatest of greats. They're just L's.
Number 7, I cheated because his real name is Larry.
Oh, Chipper Jones.
Yeah. His real name is Larry.
Yeah.
Number one, only this is kind of the reason for the list. Only because of the worldwide recognition. And what's the number one sport in the world?
Number one sport in the world is soccer.
Yeah.
Lionel. I was gonna say when you first said, I swear, the first thing that came to mind was Lionel Simmons for some reason.
Oh well, someone who could be on the list. Yeah,
he won't be on the list. It's just an L. But yeah, Lionel Messi.
Number 2, the luckiest man on earth.
Luckiest man on earth.
I'm going way back. A Yankee.
Lou Gehrig. Oh my gosh.
I have them 2 above LeBron and Larry Bird.
We could have been here till midnight. I wouldn't have thought of Lou Gehrig.
Let's see. A current player is number 10. Basketball. Was in the finals last year.
Luka Doncic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
Maybe, arguably, one of the best 6 men ever is number 9.
Lou Williams.
Could be. Also was known from a reality, an off sport reality show.
It's not Lou Williams?
No.
Off sport reality show. What the heck? Best 6th man ever.
Possibly on some of those Lakers championship teams, especially with Kobe.
It was Rick Fox, wasn't it?
Lamar Odom.
No, I thought of him, but he's not the. I don't know. He didn't play long enough.
He was one of. He was okay. We get see, and that's why we do that, because we have a disagreement. Last one, number 6.
Aren't we missing one Larry?
Which Larry did we miss? We got Bird, Jones, Fitzgerald, and Holmes.
What sport? Oh, you got them all?
We have one more.
Huh. What sport?
NFL. Super Bowl champion. I'll give you.
Larry Zonka.
No, but he could be.
No, that fit the clue.
It's not a Larry though. We got the 4 Larrys.
Oh wow.
Also won a main
I got
event.
one. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. He could easily be on the list. You're right.
Yeah.
This guy also won a main event at a WrestleMania. NFL Super Bowl champion who main evented a WrestleMania.
What year?
I think it
what
was
decade?
Oh boy, I think it was WrestleMania. The staff is going to have to look this up.
Just a rough estimate.
It was either, I believe it was 11 or 12. WrestleMania 11 or 12.
The Rock. Huh? Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Was Lawrence Taylor, Bam Bam Bigelow the main event of WrestleMania 11 or 12? I think it was 12.
Really?
Yeah.
They made Bam Bam Bigelow a main event?
Mm-hmm.
What was that when everybody went to the other NWA?
No, actually it was before that, because they did I believe it was in Miami. I'm not sure. They did a Royal Rumble, which is coming up. They did one, and Bam Bam Bigelow had a match on the card. It was a tag team match, and he ended up getting pinned by he got pinned by Sean Waltman, a guy who's like 200 pounds lighter than he is.
Wow.
And after leaving, it was WrestleMania 11. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you. They kept showing throughout the show Lawrence Taylor sitting ringside in the first row. And after leaving, a lot of people were getting on Bigelow, and he kept yelling at the crowd, "Stop making fun of me," because he just got pinned. And Taylor walked up to him, wanted to shake his hand. Bigelow went over and shoved him. So Taylor came trying to get back at him. And the way that they did it, it just looked like it was such a real thing. And then once it played out the way it did, it's like, boy, they had that planned out so long and they did it that way. and the thing is, the way the media picked up on it, I mean, they made it the main event. And of course, Lawrence Taylor won.
Of course, he wouldn't agree to do it unless he won. Have you caught these Costco guys on X?
I have not.
With the boom, here comes the boom. Hey, that's every 3 words they say boom. Oh, the chocolate chip cookie, the chicken bake. Well, he's apparently like a wrestler from this area, and him and his son, they make videos. They go to different restaurants and they taste the food and they give it how many booms from 1 to 5. They make videos. It's pretty funny. They got this little kid, the Rizzler. Well, his name's AJ Bagamo or something like that. And he was a wrestler, and he got back into it, and he wrestled locally the other night, and it's horrible. I just wanted you to see him wrestle. I mean, it's so super slow, like the arm drags and it's not good. And they made him win. That's what he said about Lawrence Taylor winning. They actually made this guy win, and it's just crazy. Look up the Costco guys. It's funny.
I will.
They're just stupid, but it's fun.
It has me thinking back to some of my memorable matches that were kind of bad. There was probably the best match I ever had. I actually tapped out, but all the stuff that happened after, I was announced the winner. The ring announcer announced me as the winner. I didn't win. I didn't win the match. It was a guy who I graduated high school with, a good friend of mine. Still a really, really good friend of mine, and I was against him, and it was here in town. It was a show. It was headlined by King Kong Bundy.
Wow.
And the thing is, after he put me in the chicken wing, I tapped out. So the bell rings, but I had a guy waiting in case I lost to come in and beat him down, which he did. He came in and actually ended up putting him through a table with a leg drop. So we're both standing there in the ring, me and the Rockin' Rebel with our arms raised, and the announcer announced me as the winner. It's like, I didn't win. Had I won, I wouldn't have needed someone to come in and beat up the guy who beat me.
He forgot.
He did. It was a lot of fun.
Damn, King Kong Bundy.
Other than watching sports and watching some NBA, there hasn't been much in the way of television that I've watched. I mean,
no, I mean, I wanted to watch the Squid Games, but couldn't get in. It's just not good.
Oh, because you really like season 1, right?
Yeah.
And I still haven't watched that, so maybe that's what I'll have to do.
Well, it's instead of just showing the games, which is what you enjoy, they're trying to tell the backstory. And guess what? I don't care.
Of what? Well, isn't that how? If I remember right, that's how the beginning started, where they're showing why they're going there.
I mean, yeah, I think so, but I don't even remember. I thought the beginning just started with them going at it, if I remember. But this season's just, they want to show you everybody's personal lives, and I really don't care. Show me guys falling into a pit and dying.
I saw that they were. I don't know what season it is, and I never got through a few episodes, and it's probably my fault. I should have. But Yellow Jackets, I think, was coming out with a new season. Yeah,
I watched the first season and kind of got away from it. It started to get like weird. It was like rituals and stuff, and I don't know. Is it over? Have you watched it? Is it still going on?
I think season 3 is next. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but okay. I think that's been advertised that it's coming, season 3.
It started to drag out. Like they were going flashbacks and things, and
a lot of that was built into it. I mean, I had my fill of flashbacks. If you are a Lost fan, I mean that kind of took into it.
Yeah.
I look here at the corner of my eye on the couch. My my cat is laying there sleeping. So how's the new kitten?
Oh, yeah. Running around doing the show. She was running around. I was doing a card show last night, and she tapping and knocking around a little ball. She's energetic. I don't see her here.
Is that the only cat you have?
Yeah, my other cat passed away not too long ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But I wasn't sure if you had others. So
No, that's our only one. Cat and the dog.
You know, there's some who might say, well, that's the reincarnated cat.
I mean, we did find her outside on our steps. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So what we got coming up, hopefully, is discussion and
Super Bowl preview.
Yeah, a 2-week breakdown of the Super Bowl. So the Eagles, who is it? Bills or Chiefs?
People want to say the Bills have their number. I mean, I might agree. They might have figured something out. But like I said, if the Eagles can stop Josh Allen, maybe they can as well. I mean, that's a pick 'em. That game goes either way. If I had to pick, I'd probably go with the Bills.
If you go back and listen, if somebody can find it, when we did our NFL preview show, I predicted the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I predicted them to beat the 49ers, I believe. But yeah, here's the thing. I think the Bills win the game, but I'm so hesitant because I can't. You can't say Goliath is dead until David hits him in the middle of the forehead with the stone.
I think you got a low scoring game out there. I think it's going to be, they're going to probably limit Josh Allen, and I think that the Bills are also probably a little bit figured out Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to see much scoring. But if you want to go conspiracy theory, I thought of this today. Commanders, Chiefs. Commander-in-Chief. You just had a new president, Commander-in-Chief.
See, now that's a good or even if you want to throw on top of it, okay, the Commanders are the Commanders because they couldn't be the Redskins. Why are the Chiefs allowed to be the Chiefs?
Right. Or you could say Eagles, Bills. I mean, it's a deeper conversation. I won't get into
it. That's fine. Look, to me, I wouldn't be surprised, and I think a lot of people would be. I wouldn't be surprised if I guess I would be, because I think the Eagles are going to win, obviously. But
let me throw Washington Buffalo out there just so we don't say, oh, it's the one we didn't say.
Yeah,
Washington, because that's happened before. That's that's an old one.
Yeah, and obviously the Bills didn't win it.
Yeah, that was that the Timmy Smith game, or I think it might have been.
That was in the string of 4 in a row. It had to be.
Didn't they play them twice?
No, I think they lost to Dallas twice.
And the Giants and Redskins.
Washington.
So they played every team in the NFC East except the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
That's true, and they've lost to every team in the NFC.
Right. Can we complete it? Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing it changed. Yeah, and the interesting thing about this is, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, to talk about how great a coach Sirianni is. Wow.
Yeah, how about that? A guy that if he would have lost the Packers, we would have been firing him.
Yeah, you're right. As the Rangers take a 4-1 lead, of course.
I mean, is Sirianni and they win this game? Has he got a long-term extension? How does he not? Two Super Bowls in 4 years.
Well, you've seen what winning a Super Bowl can do. I mean, you're going rather quickly, but then Doug Peterson. I mean, still, okay. How did they win with him? And that team just fell into something that, hey, for Philadelphia, that's something you would have never expected to happen for what happened there. And the interesting thing about it was, other than the Super Bowl game, the tightest game they had was the Falcons game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think though? Did they give him what's his contract's done after this year, right?
That I'm not sure.
I think it is.
If not, if not, it's I don't think it's a really long one. You mean, look, you win the Super Bowl, you're going to have to do it.
Even if you go to it.
Yeah, true. And I'm surprised too, and I'll admit here right now, and thank goodness that I was wrong, because I thought with the money that they gave to Jalen Hurts, that would cripple the team and they wouldn't be back in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
But
I think what we didn't count on when we made that statement was that every other team in the league is doing the same thing.
Or the Giants were going to be so stupid to let Saquon Barkley available.
Yeah, true. Because of money that they paid Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
that's really the reason. Because Daniel Jones was making so much money, they couldn't afford to pay him. Yeah, thank you, Daniel Jones.
And the fact that he fell into the Eagles' lap. I mean,
yeah,
just hey, look, everything's falling into place. We have to come on head to toe with Eagle stuff next week. Looking forward to a Super Bowl. I mean,
I hope so. Fly Eagles, fly.
And the only drawback, and this is just how I am as a sports fan, I don't like the fact that they're the 3:00 game. Given the fact if they lose, that will dampen my interest in
the second game. Yeah, I hear you. Well, we won't want to watch the second game.
I mean, as excited as I'll be to see who their opponent will be, and to see that second game if they win, it goes the
They're
opposite.
not losing. They're not going to lose. They're not.
You have it from Bobby. Well,
they're not going to lose.
No. Hey, sounds good.
They'll do what it takes to win. They might not look pretty, but they're going to win the game.
If next week we are not going to be on Tuesday, we will let everybody know. But we will be on, and hopefully we don't have crying towels. No chance, right, Bobby?
No.
Thanks, everyone who joined us and everyone who listens to us. It's Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good night, all.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.